Last August, the movie War Room hit theaters, and making her big screen debut was best-selling author and speaker Priscilla Shirer. In this film from the creators of Courageous and Fireproof, Priscilla plays a woman who finds herself in a battle to save her marriage and family. She learns that to win, she needs a strategic plan of prayer.
You need to do your fighting in prayer.
Recently, Priscilla took her role into real life with her new book, Fervent. She shows women how to create strategies that will help them fight the tough battles in their own lives. You're a wife and mother first. And then we have all the things that you do in terms of ministry, writing, now acting. And I thought about all the women especially, but people in general who say, I don't have time to pray. I have so many things on my plate.
Oh, yeah.
How do you find time to really pray? And then do you find yourself making up the difference? Do you lose anything in the process?
You know what? I find that the Lord seems to multiply my time when I just put first things first. It's kind of like when he told the children of Israel about gathering manna, and he said, but on the, on that Sabbath day, on that seventh day, you don't gather. Just trust that what I give you on the sixth day will be a double portion. It'll be enough to carry you through. And so I've kind of just seared that on my heart and my mind when I'm getting too busy. Now, let me just also clarify and say, I am so not perfect at it. I got these 3 boys of mine, and, I'm still trying to figure out, another way to cook chicken for dinner for tonight, and I've got laundry everywhere. So I totally get the struggle of it. But I do think that being strategic in our prayer lives and even writing down either what we're praying or at least the name of someone we're praying for and having those prayers posted, which is the goal of some of the ministry that the Lord has laid on my heart, just encouraging people to sort of write down what your focus is.
Now, a lot of times we talk about fervent prayer, which that comes from the book of James in the Bible, where it says the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much. Some people think fervent prayer is how loud I can pray and, whatever we think we're bringing down heaven or whatever. But what really is fervent prayer?
Well, fervor is passion. And passion is the fuel that drives you past discouragement, past heartache, past exhaustion. It's like an Olympic runner. Well, the training process, they don't necessarily like it, but they're doing it because they've got this fuel underneath the surface that is continuing to burn, and that it presses them onward even when they don't feel like doing all of the many regimented things they have to do to be prepared. So fervor is one of the things, by the way, that the enemy wants to steal from us. If he can get your passion, then he knows he's really hit you where it hurts, because if your fuel is gone, then as soon as external circumstances are not in alignment with your goals, you'll fall by the wayside because you have nothing to keep you going. And so fervor is this invitation that we have to experience the passion that God's own Spirit stirs up in your heart. It's an internal fervor. It has nothing to do with external factors in terms of them taking your fervor away or in terms of you manufacturing some sort of hype. That's what it is when it's manufactured.
Right.
It's emotionalism and it's hype. But passion stirred by God's Spirit, that creates a fervor on the inside of you that really can't be quelled no matter what's going on the outside.
And you said a few minutes ago the word strategy, because one thing you really talk about in the book is the need for strategic prayer.
Yeah.
But why do we need to have a strategy for prayer? It seems like prayer should be so simple. It's just a conversation with God.
Yeah.
That's what we say. But why do we need a strategy?
And I agree with you. It is a conversation with God in prayer. But what are you conversating with him about? What are you even bringing to him? Are you just throwing some words out and hoping they mean something? Or are you being thoughtful? That's what strategy means. It means where you look at all of the circumstances that are around your life, the people and the things that you hold dear, and you look to see where the enemy is at work. This is why we need to be strategic, because the enemy is strategic. He's not throwing out some blanketed approach in hopes that he catch people in his little net of deception. No, he knows us. He knows my weaknesses. The enemy is after our demise. So once we find out that the enemy is strategic, well, why wouldn't we want to be strategic? As opposed to praying randomly, we have to be thoughtful about what it is that we see the enemy doing, where we see him at work in the undercurrents of our circumstances, and then apply the promises of God from his own word to those specific situations in our prayer life. So in that way, we decide not only to be consistent in prayer, which is also important, but to be intentional, deliberate, and strategic. Hit the enemy where it hurts.
This is my favorite place in this house. I call it my war room.
You wrote prayers for each area of your life.
Prayer strategy.
I sure could use some of that.
There's something about the closet, and the film is called War Room. Why is it important to have this place that we go to and we seek the Lord that's separate from everything else?
Well, I do think that it minimizes distraction. I do think that. And there is some beauty in having this place that is set aside. You know what it's for. You and God know what it's for, even if nobody else does. And when you're in that place, you don't have to worry about impressing anybody else. Nobody's there watching. They're not seeing what you've written down and posted on that wall where it's behind a closed door. It's literally just a place where you can be honest and authentic with God. So there is beauty in that. But I do hope that moviegoers will take it a step further and see that really that war room, in a lot of ways, yes, physically it matters that we have a place, even if it's just the corner of your room, your bedroom, where you post a few things. But it is also symbolic of something bigger than just a physical war room. It is prioritizing a place in your mind, prioritizing a place in your schedule, prioritizing a place in your decision making, prioritizing a place in our lives where we say we are going to honor God. We are going to seek him first above all else. And so, yes, we do that physically by having a place we've carved out for him. But, you know, we do it in our schedules, too. We do it on paper. We do it by letting the person know that we're making a decision with that, you know what, I got to seek God first. I'll get back with you on my answer. So, again, it's about prioritizing our relationship with God above all else.